All three voted for Jha. Remember, the big results will start, the trends will start perhaps by about 9 a.m. but the counting begins at 8 a.m. That's just about half an hour from now. So all eyes are on Delhi Decides. All eyes also on the Aam Aadmi Party headquarters. Ankit Tyagi is joining me from the AAP headquarters because, Ankit, clearly there is excitement there and there is a belief, I'm told, at the Patel Nagar headquarters that today could be their big day. I'm told lots of the leaders of the AAP have even started coming to the headquarters early this morning.
Well, to begin with, Arvind Kejriwal is about to reach here in half an hour. Rajdeep, he's starting from his residence in just about 10 minutes, and we are expecting him to come here by 8 o'clock. All the senior leaders, of course, will start trickling in there. They have made arrangements for the live shows for their spokesperson from this headquarter, the Aam Aadmi Party decked up office that you see behind me, balloons and everybody with that big LCD, and it's just set for our celebration. Yesterday late in the night, I spoke to a few senior leaders. All of them, though, were confident, but said that even in the last election, they were much more relaxed than they are this time. Most of them saying that we are not going to get any sleep tonight. So all of them excited, but yes, they are going to wait for the results. They still believe that this is their big chance. And Arvind Kejriwal and the entire Aam Aadmi Party believes this will, of course, will go a long way. 5-year plans are being made. They already are thinking of committees and how they are going to implement their 70-point agenda. But as of now, extremely excited Aam Aadmi Party cadre. Yesterday, in fact, a big thank you dinner was thrown by Arvind Kejriwal for his New Delhi cadre. So everybody all set for a big celebration here. In fact, the young volunteers tell me they have ordered a lot of color. And if the results are favorable, very soon you'll see a festive atmosphere behind me, Rajdeep.
You know, I'm looking at that big LED screen. Obviously, this time the Aam Aadmi Party, resource-wise, has been, we've even seen with their posters at bus stands, they've been far better per 13 months ago.
Well, absolutely. And in fact, if I can just quickly tell you about the posters, you know what they this time did? They knew that the BJP is going to put in a lot of resources. So a month in advance, on November 15th, they had locked sites where they wanted to put their posters for the next entire month for the campaigning. So they were well prepared. They knew where all they wanted to put their posters, big sites. And the example was when Prime Minister Narendra Modi's first rally on January 10th, they had booked 36 sites in advance in and around Ramlila Maidan to put up the posters for the Aam Aadmi Party. So very well prepared, a very calculated, entire campaign that they have run. And this time when you see they have asked for police permission in advance, they are anticipating a big turnout here. They have asked all their supporters to galvanize here by 8 a.m. So of course they have this time better prepared for a celebration.
Okay, we're going to see whether they actually celebrate or not. Remember, an exit poll is not the final. The final is today. The exit poll at the end of the day, at best, is a teaser to tell us who really is in form. But the big question is the final, in a sense, comes today. Ankit Tyagi joining us there from the Aam Aadmi Party headquarters. Delhi decides. The big question, who is winning the battle for Delhi? The big question also, where does Narendra Modi stand in this battle for Delhi? Will this verdict be seen as a referendum on the Prime Minister's popularity, whatever that verdict be? Joining me at this moment, Shaina NC joins me from Mumbai, BJP spokesperson. Shaina NC, will this verdict be seen as a referendum on the Prime Minister's popularity?
Well, by that logic, Rajdeep, every should be a referendum on the BJP and the Prime Minister, which is an absolutely fair way of assessing and unfair too. My point is two. Number one, we have won Jharkhand, Maharashtra, Haryana, Jammu Kashmir, and I think we will win Delhi, contrary to all these exit polls, because there is a difference between exit poll and exact polls. And also the fact that post 3 o'clock, the voter that came out came to vote for a stable mandate and came to vote for the same good governance model.
No, I take all that. No, I take all that. I'm just asking, look, my question is asked because the Prime Minister himself said, Delhi ka man, desh ka man, Delhi ka man. I didn't say it. Did the Prime Minister in some way make this a referendum on his popularity when he need not have?
No, I think that's your way of assessing it. But the point is that the Prime Minister does live in Delhi and has campaigned as a leader of BJP. But that apart, victory, defeat is something that is analyzed only post results. Here we've almost had an ultimatum and announced the verdict before even seeing what the results are. So all this is speculative at this juncture.
Sure. Okay. So I take that's the trap that you fall in at 7 a.m. in the morning if you try and ask a question like this. I see that you've learned how to become a good spokesperson. At this moment, joining me also Preeti Chaudhary from outside Kiran Bedi's house, because there are two in this battle. There is Arvind Kejriwal and there is Kiran Bedi. And I can see that Kiran Bedi is up and about, I'm told, Preeti, already, and she's going to go to a Krishna Nagar office as early as 9 a.m.
Yes, Rajdeep, with what we are hearing right now, just about half an hour ago, Kiran Bedi, she does this every morning. She came out, she fed the birds and, didn't quite acknowledge the press, but she's been doing it the last few weeks, where she comes and maybe with a wave, of her hand, or she'll nod and smile and say good morning. But none of that today, but came, fed the birds, went inside. So sticking to schedule, what we are expecting at a little close to 9, Rajdeep. That is when Kiran Bedi would leave her house in Uday Park right here and move on to Krishna Nagar, her constituency, to her office, and that is where she's expected to stay put, at least, till about 12, till the trends, start forming up. I just want to ask my camera person, to maybe show you the media stakeout, which is right now outside 52 Uday Park. Not too many supporters, so it's interesting to note massive media presence, but not too many supporters at this point of time. There was somebody just 10 minutes back, people around the residential colony who came in with a few bouquets, but were not quite entertained. So interesting, what we are expecting her to come out soon and maybe talk to the media. She does it every day. She'll come back, she'll give us a quick soundbite. Right. She likes to share her morning thoughts at times, but today, relatively calm, but hoping things are going to pick up. And of course, she'll be moving to Krishna Nagar. Okay,
she's already fed the birds. Okay, that's a good sign that Kiran Bedi is up and about in the morning.
If she loses, it's good for the birds at least. She'll have time to feed the birds.
No, but let's look at it. Let's be right through this campaign. Kiran Bedi has been someone who was seen at one stage as a master stroke. Now every time I do a studio debate on it, people say Kiran Bedi is the biggest mistake, almost as if the master stroke is the big blunder. Yeah. Is that fair to look at Kiran Bedi as, if the BJP loses today, should Kiran Bedi take the blame for the loss? I mean, she has only been there for the last 3 weeks.
No, well, I think that you're being unfair to dump everything on Kiran Bedi. It's true that she was not the best candidate that BJP could have thought of. But look,
no one said that 3 weeks ago.
No,
3 weeks ago, very few said it. Did you believe she was not the best candidate?
I believe that, but at the same time, as I said to you the last time we met, that the BJP was a divided house. They couldn't agree amongst themselves to who would be the leader, so they had to choose an outlier. There was no way out. But choose Kiran Bedi or somebody else, that was a different matter. So, but internally they were riven.
So should the fault lie with the state BJP unit, that you've not been able to throw up a leader who seemed to be credible enough to challenge an Arvind Kejriwal who's been in politics for just a couple of years? You bring in a Kiran Bedi, and now if they lose today, she will be blamed for it. Is that fair?
No, but if we look at our own trackers, the BJP was not doing so badly at the beginning of the battle. So Kiran Bedi is certainly even superimposing the whole trend that has gone on. After Kiran Bedi comes in, theoretically everybody says, oh, she's going to take, this legacy of Anna divided between Arvind and her, also has the image of being a, activist in Delhi. But as it unfolds, it turns out that she does not have the capacity of political communication. She does not communicate to the electorate. And I had thought that among the Sikhs, amongst the Punjabis, she would be a hit. When I go and interview people there, I find that there's a very damp enthusiasm towards her. And lastly, for the youth of this country, I realized that her great days as Kiran Bedi were done and over even before this generation of the young was born. So here was a wrong choice really, even if the best case scenario is granted that the BJP puts her there to win the election.
She's a middle class hero. I thought Magsaysay award winner, prison reforms. I mean, what does that show?
I don't think it's a problem is Kiran Bedi. I think the problem really is another BJP self-goal, because the BJP leadership, the central leadership, Mr. Amit Shah, they try to be too clever by half. Now they claim that they had decided on her 3 months in advance, but they thought it was going to be this master stroke that they're going to pull out just 2 weeks before the election.
To surprise the other side.
To surprise the other side. But what happened as a result, they surprised or rather shocked their own party, because in all parties you don't induct somebody and announce that they are the chief minister candidate. You know, I don't think it's been done in the history of Indian politics.
Cadre-based party.
No, even in non-cadre-based parties.
No, but your view on Kiran Bedi, let's
No, it was.
I think that if they brought her in 3 months ago and said that, you know, and got the workers to accept her and groomed her, they tried to be too clever by half, and it failed the gambit. And the second thing which surprised me when I was in the field talking to people, this whole police image. You know what the Aam Aadmi's biggest success in 49 days was not free water and electricity, because by the time the bills came, they were over. It was that the police daily quotidian corruption and giving hafta had stopped. So these people told me that police aayegi, to police ka attachar
I take that completely. Particularly in slum areas today, the policeman in uniform is seen as a figure of fear. You fear the policeman. Your views on Kiran Bedi.
I think the day it was announced, unanimously it was seen as a master stroke. On Twitter was on fire that, you know, it's what Mr. Amit Shah is like, can't be beaten, and he comes up with these.
Twitter gets it wrong occasionally. Twitter is not basically the barometer of the man in the slum. Yes, but go ahead.
I don't think, I think it's something to do with her personality. It doesn't connect, and this is the X factor, this is the charisma, which was not there. And I think she was no longer Kiran Bedi within 5 minutes. In 5 minutes on stage, I saw her like this to Mr. Modi.
And then when she said,
you don't know that. You've been brought in to show that you are also like Arvind Kejriwal. So you got to go there and say, I am joining a party which I know has things wrong in it. But people like me will slowly come and change. I am not their slave. But
you're saying she became a sycophantic.
There was no Kiran Bedi left in Kiran.
There was no Kiran Bedi, no anti-establishment.
There was no Kiran Bedi left in Kiran Bedi.
That's a good point. There was no Kiran Bedi left in Kiran Bedi. But just before I take a break, did our survey, our exit poll show that people were voting against Kiran Bedi? Was Kiran Bedi at all a factor for not voting for the BJP?
No, but there's no indication that people were voting against Kiran Bedi. But then everything that the public opinion polls showed, she didn't do it. People wanted her to participate in a debate. All channels called her. Delhi is a very high media consumption city. She didn't turn up. She didn't talk to the media. She didn't talk to her workers. People want to hear their politics.
So the lack of her communication, you know, she turned out, if these polls are right, perhaps it shows that middle-class heroes, not every middle-class hero makes a good politician. T.N. Session, another good example. T.N. Session thought that one moment he retired as Chief Election Commissioner, India would welcome him as the Prime Minister of the country. They did. So I think Kiran Bedi, perhaps if she doesn't win today, will also realize a lesson there, that it isn't easy to make that transition into politics and public life. The traits you require in public life are very different from the traits you require to become a successful policewoman. Was she really the kind of team leader? Something that people have often questioned, that Kiran Bedi is an individualist. She isn't quite a team leader. But we'll know. In a couple of hours, we might all have egg on our face, particularly my friend Dhananjay Joshi. The big story that we are tracking, of course, is the Delhi showdown. And in that, we have to tell you that the Aam Aadmi Party, in a sense, at their party headquarters, has already given a sense that they believe today is their day. Because if we turn to their party headquarters, you can see that there are people already, their supporters are already coming. Those are images. It's only 7:50 and already hundreds of Aam Aadmi supporters are already lined up there at the Aam Aadmi Party headquarters in Patel Nagar. They believe this is their big day, the day when they will come back to power. Almost exactly a year. Remember, Arvind Kejriwal resigned on the 14th of February in 2014. So a year later, they believe their day may have come. Those images, we'll have to see whether their celebrations are premature or whether their celebrations actually are justified. But one party headquarters where there is no celebration is the Congress party. Am I right to say, Dhananjay Joshi, that purely in psephological terms, this day could well be the decline of the Congress, could be the Aam Aadmi Party's advantage? And that's what it's coming down to in arithmetic terms. If the Congress goes down by, say, about 10%, which is what your polls seem to suggest, the Aam Aadmi Party gains at least 70% of that 10%.
That vote, right.
Would that be a fair way to look at it?
This is the classic flow of votes table that we see. And we see that about 75 to 80% of Aam Aadmi Party voters voted for the Congress in past elections. Not necessarily 2013, but even before that.
You know, that's the interesting part. Therefore, for all our analysis, it's coming to that, the decline of the Congress stupid. You know, the Congress declines, the Aam Aadmi Party takes their vote, converts it almost into a bipolar fight. Last time you said Dalits, for example, had voted with the BJP in the Lok Sabha. This time they may well, particularly the Valmikis, may have gone strongly to the Aam Aadmi Party. Muslims seem to have gone strongly towards the Aam Aadmi Party, and that's where this election is turning. That a Congress supporter has said, if I want to defeat Narendra Modi, my Congress vote is wasted. Let's go to the Aam Aadmi Party.
Of all of what we name, it's the Dalits that surprised me the most, because they were that constituency, that had gone away from the Congress even at the time of the Lok Sabha elections. They were there, they voted for the BJP. The BJP did have an Udit Raj, it did bring in Krishna Tirath. What happened there? So in a sense, I would say that this is a breakdown of the patronage model, breakdown of thinking of people as vote banks, and people take their decisions based on what they think is politically rational at that point of time.
If these results are right, because interestingly, and that's the point that I want to get at, Dipankar Gupta, the same voter in the Lok Sabha voted for Narendra Modi for PM. Now seems to be choosing, if our exit poll is right, Arvind Kejriwal for CM. Is that the nature of politics? That in a state election, I look for the person who I think I can identify with. At a national election, I have a completely different perspective. The split vote.
The two things. One is that nobody wants to waste their vote.
Yeah.
That's number one.
Yes.
Number two is that during that time, Modi was fighting against Manmohan Singh. And that was an uneven contest. Now Modi is fighting against himself. There is no Manmohan Singh now to rail against. That's number one. Number two, in these past 9 months, people have begun to think that, a token, local, low-level opposition is a good idea.
Yeah.
And that is what they're also voting for. Some of the middle classes who have very recently switched towards Aam Aadmi Party is not because they are overflowing with affection for the party, but because they feel deep down a little opposition, a little, toe in the door.
Is it the little opposition, or is it, Marini, the fact that the Aam Aadmi Party is sort of, their structure is seen to be designed for a kind of city-based structure like Delhi? I just want to take, we are getting visuals of Arvind Kejriwal, of course, who's on his way to Patel Nagar, but is that it somewhere, Manini, that these are state elections, therefore you are looking for someone you can identify at the state level. AAP has created that state-like structure, much like the Shakha culture in Mumbai with the Shiv Sena. Is that what is changing?
No, but many factors, as I keep saying, there's no one single factor. And of course, the fact that AAP ran a wonderful campaign after the kind of defeat they faced in May, I think you have to give it to Mr. Kejriwal, and not just Kejriwal, but the vast mass of volunteers, true volunteers, not
party carders. But this volunteer force works in a city like Delhi, which is tightly knit. It would work across India.
I mean, no, it may not work in. We cannot say it's only Delhi specific. I mean,
you don't believe it's only Delhi specific?
I mean, if you can galvanize, it happened in Punjab.
No, but let's pursue that. I know it happened in Punjab, and it's interesting that in Punjab they again took away the Congress vote. That people wanted to teach the Akalis a lesson in the Lok Sabha election. They voted for AAP and not for the Congress. Do you think AAP is a Delhi phenomenon, Chetan? You're an interesting person. You've lived in Delhi, moved to Mumbai. In Mumbai, for example, would an Aam Aadmi Party work? Would they be able to take on a Shiv Sena in Mumbai? Let's be honest.
Yes, they could.
They
could, yes, because it's a very scalable model. What they represent, the origins are pure. They have not really done the vote bank politics. It could. They did make mistakes, though. Those mistakes cost them in the Lok Sabha election, and it'll be a different, yes, the Shakha model may be different, the issues may be different, but it's very scalable. And if he does it right, which is basically he does nothing, he just kind of sits tight on this chair and doesn't do anything, it will scale up.
Let's be clear. You believe that an Aam Aadmi Party model can be scaled up to a Bangalore, to a Kolkata. Let's be clear. Isn't it a very Hindi-speaking Delhi model designed for Delhi, a city which Arvind knows? He doesn't know Mumbai.
This was my advice to them, that when they had won in Delhi the first time, you should only contest Lok Sabha in the state capitals, all state capitals. Even if you win a couple of seats, you can control the media from there. You can go from there. There is, of course, that is, they will start from there, and then those places become influencers. The people in small towns look up to what the big city guys are doing. There is a lot of appeal. This party can really scale up, and there is a huge potential if they don't do that.
I need to take a break. I'll come back. 8 a.m. Let's look at that. Is this Arvind Kejriwal phenomenon, which we believe could take him to victory today, restricted to Delhi? Or will it spread to other cities in particular? An interesting point made by Chetan. Will it be a city-based model, particularly where issues of water, power, corruption, police officers, dadagiri, are these the kind of issues that you would take up in any Indian city today?